Okay, and we're back. We made it to day two. Okay, we made it to day two. So happy to be here on this YouTube channel this Tuesday. And we're going to get into another topic. I'm going to talk about boundaries today and what boundaries actually look like. All right. And a lot of people talk about boundaries. And sometimes they confuse them with rejection or with control or punishment when you try to give a boundary to someone and say, hey, don't cross it. So I pulled a few real life examples of people setting boundaries and those reactions. So we're gonna go through this together. All right, so let's get started. Welcome, welcome. If you're just not tuning in, I'm going live. My name is Latonya McDonald, and I'm going live every day this week, every weekday. Okay, growing my channel, introducing myself again because I've tried YouTube plenty of times and I struggle with my perfectionism, but I'm trying to give it a better shot now and really, really show up in this world and take up space. So if you like my content, feel free to comment below, like, share, and subscribe. All right, so let's get into this first Reddit post. Okay. AIO for BF 19 male. I have no idea what AIO means, but maybe by the end of me reading this, I will find out. Okay. Getting mad at me, 19 female, for setting a boundary. Okay. AIO for setting a boundary for my boyfriend. If I, okay. I just read the I-90F. I don't know why she keeps putting that, but this might be a perfectionist like me. Okay. I have been dating I've been dating 19 male. I've been dating him for over 6 months. I just came to, I just came to his house to hang out and we went to cuddle and nap for a little. He starts going to see what I'm wearing, and this is usual for him to check out my outfit since I don't have an issue. Okay, we've had intimacy before, so he's seen me without clothes and vice versa. That is not, this is this, I don't know, the way things are worded is just interesting. We've had intimacy before. You can have intimacy without having, sex, everyone. Just so you know. Okay, but I think this person feels more comfortable saying intimacy instead of sex. So, okay. So I wasn't in the mood to do anything sexual, but it said sexual right there. Okay, never mind. So I wasn't in the mood to do anything sexual, and I let him know to not pull down my pants to initiate anything. I told him 3 times and he still did it. I told him that he went against my boundary today and I wasn't in the mood. His defense was he wasn't going to do anything and just wanted to see my underwear. Sometimes I think he only wants me for my body and I'm just not sure anymore. He got mad at me and defensive. I went to go hug him and say it's okay, and he said, boundaries, don't touch me. I called him childish and currently just walked out of his house to get air. Okay, TLDRAI. I don't know what that up. What does that mean? Do I need to pause? Let me ask the Googles. What does AIO mean? We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn. All in one? What? Okay, I said, what does AIO mean in conversation? Am I overreacting? Okay, okay. Am I overreacting is what AIO means specifically for the Reddit post. All right, we learned something new today. Comment below if you knew that before I did, or if you learned on today that that is what AIO means. Okay. Am I overreacting for BF19M getting mad at me, 19F, for setting a boundary about not wanting to be touched sexually today? No, you're not overreacting. You're tripping. He is tripping all the way. And I feel like she was clear. I feel like she, I don't know, like, I don't like that. I feel like that's a red flag. That's a big red flag with anybody when you specifically ask them not to do something. And she told him 3 times and he still went against her boundary. And that's not okay. And that's a very, they're young, but no, that's a bad sign. It truly, truly is. And no, she's not overreacting. Uh, this makes me nervous. Okay. And I am I'm at the age where I will just be like, break up. Okay. But that's not easy for everybody, especially not at this age, at such a young age and being in a relationship. Um, it could feel like the first time you said no, you never said yes. And that could be very, very alienating. You can feel shameful. You can feel like something's wrong with you for asking somebody to respect your boundary, but there's nothing wrong with what she did. It's something wrong with what he did, and he needs to learn. And sometimes you gotta call people out that you care about and teach them how to treat you. I feel like it's great that she tried to smooth it over and say, okay, well, it's okay, and give him a hug. And she basically tried to let him know that just because I set a boundary doesn't mean I don't care about you anymore, doesn't mean that I'm not going to ever let you touch me again, or it won't be, intimate like that ever again. It's just respect me. I'm a human being. All right. And him being upset, you know, I think that is sometimes it's a natural response for people that don't really understand no, or for people who don't even have their own boundaries. Honestly, sometimes it might be a person that feels like they're the only one allowed to have boundaries. You never know. You can only know if you're in a relationship and you experience that person. But that's a pattern. Okay, because I want you to recognize that she stated she told him 3 times and he did it anyways, right? It's not like, oh, she told him once hours ago and then never said it again, right? In the process, I'm sure she's like, please stop, while he's continuing. No, and that's how it starts. No, people, that stuff, as small as it is, that has to be nipped in the bud. It just does when somebody crosses a boundary. Okay, so What you guys think? What do you all think about this boundary that she set? Do you think she's overreacting? All right. Do you think, do you agree with the boyfriend? Oh, since they've been intimate before, that he has now rights to be intimate with her when, regardless of whether she wants to or not? Comment below. I want to see. I want to see. I can't lie and say we listen and we don't judge, because yes, we will be judging. I feel like judgment needs to come back in this world. That's why we have stuff like this, okay, happening. People just crossing boundaries because there's no consequence, right? No, like there's, you either doing right or you doing wrong, right? Um, and he intentionally did wrong because she asked him not to, and he did it anyway. It wasn't a mistake. All right, so let me know. I still want to know what you think about this. I really do. And I feel like a lot of people don't get mad because they're confused about the boundary. They get mad because it worked. They get mad. Yeah, they get mad because the person said it, right? And a lot of people, they might be sensitive around boundaries because they don't want someone to feel like I'm intentionally trying to harm you. Like some people will be like, "Oh, it's just me." You could be like, "I don't want to hug today." "Oh, but it's me," and you going for a hug or whatnot. Or a kid, you know how they usually tell children, "Go and hug so and so." "Well, go give them a hug," and the child would be like, and the parent will just push them because it's so-called polite, right? That's kind of where it starts, where people start to really, really disrespect boundaries, right? And you kind of teach your child when you make them go hug people or go shake hands or let people kiss them. That's, a lot of people don't know that's where it starts, where that person has to unlearn that not everybody should be allowed in my space, right? And when somebody does it, it's so foreign and so many people can't handle it because it's not normalized. But you get taught from a very, 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 very young age, soon as you start interacting people, that you don't have no boundaries and nobody's going to respect them. So, you know, the only way to do it is to call them out, have conversations about it. If somebody gets sensitive about it, right? Have that conversation. If they're not willing to have that conversation and then respect your boundary, cut them. Cut them off. Okay? What do you guys think? Comment down below if you're watching this live or if you're watching the playback. Okay? All right, so let's go to the next one. I believe it is this one. All right. Now we know what it means. Am I overreacting for boyfriend's boundaries? All right. Here we go. The next one. Starting off with saying this is a throwaway account. I, 26 female, and my boyfriend, 29 male, are going through a rough patch in our relationship. We are living in my parents' house together, but he is now living on his own since him and my mother are not getting along. I cannot afford to move out yet and honestly don't want to move in with the way our relationship has been going. We both agree we should work this out while we both get therapy and have some space to ourselves. Not a bad idea. Anyways, we were on the phone together and I explained that I had my best friend over and we would be spending the night, so I won't be able to talk long. Okay, she put that 26 female in there so people know. He starts asking if she's been in the bed at all or the bedroom. Okay. We have been friends for over a decade. We've spent countless nights in each other's beds, laughing, crying, sleeping, or just simply hanging out. He starts getting a bit aggressive, saying she can sleep on the couch in the living room or sleep in my sister's bed, but she is not sleeping in the bed or the bedroom. I went silent and asked why after processing what he had said. He responded with, "It's my boundary, and you shouldn't be questioning my boundaries." Hmm. It's not up for discussion. This left a sour taste in my mouth since he's never been like this before. He followed up with, "Today in therapy, I was told the bed is for sleeping and sex only, so I agree." Today, okay, all right, today in therapy, I was told, okay, was he told that? Okay, the bedroom is my safe space and you should respect that. He even forbid me from sleeping on his side of the bed? What? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Wait. I had to rewind and make sure that she's still at her mom's house. Is she still at her mom's house in her own room? Okay, and they're both in therapy. Okay. He starts getting a bit aggressive, saying she can sleep on the couch in the living room or sleep in my sister's bed. Okay, all right. Fast forward today in therapy, I was told the bed is for sleeping and sex only, so I agree. The bedroom is a safe space and you should respect that. All right. He even forbid me on sleeping on his side. He even forbid me from sleeping on his side of the bed. He forbid you for sleeping on his side of the bed at his place or at your place. Okay. Um I have questions. I find it odd that we would say that he would say that when he's not living here anymore. Yeah, you know what? If I would have just kept, okay, all right, cool. I find it odd that he would say that when he's not living here anymore, especially when he has his own bed now. Wow. I find it even more weird that he's demanding my friend stay off the bed when I'm the one who spent $4,000 on it, not him. I paid for everything. Then that what? I mean, okay, okay. Um, the frame, the sheets, the duvet and cover, the pillows, etc. He convinced me that we needed an upgrade after 3 months of sleeping on a queen together and had even promised to pay half of it, but never did. I never badgered him about it either, to be honest. Ha, I know what that means. Because it didn't matter that much to me at the time. Okay, so she's saying she paid for everything and she don't understand how he feels that he can tell her where to sleep and who could sleep in the bed and stuff like that. Okay. All right. She paid for everything. All right. After he had said that to me, I said I never thought that was an issue before when I had friends over, because I've always grown up with them being in my bedroom and sleeping in the same bed as me. He never said it bothered him before until now. He immediately cut me off, saying I don't respect his boundaries and I need to stop arguing with him. I truthfully wasn't trying to argue and tried explaining that to him. No matter what I said, he would keep interrupting to say I need to stop arguing. At that point, I had cut him off and said, I'm not arguing. I'm just trying to explain why it's normal for my friends to be in this space with me. I even tried explaining that I'm not trying to challenge his boundaries. I'm accepting it, but of course, he interjected, got loud, and said, honestly, if this is how you're going to act, then you can. So I hung up on him. This happens a lot when there's a misunderstanding between us. Oh, hanging up on folks. Okay. He always thinks I'm trying to argue when I'm simply trying to explain my point of view of things. Excuse me. I know I'll get blamed for this fight, but now I'm wondering if I overreacted in this situation. Okay, 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 okay. 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 So I don't know. I this is not, I don't know if this is a boundary. I think it's just a demand, um, and a preference, a ask. I don't know if this, I don't understand why this violates his agency, his personal agency, when it's her bed, it's her friends. Uh, think, mm, that's kind of like saying, um, don't shave your beard. That's my boundary. You can't say that, you know. And I can't, I love my husband's beard. I cannot stand when he shaves it. I hate it with a passion. Okay, I just makes me upset. But that is not my boundary. It's an ask. It's a preference, right? Or you say so. You can't. Somebody that does something with their own autonomy, right? It has nothing to do with your autonomy, okay? Like your what they do with their body and things that they own is their business, okay? And you can say, hey, I don't feel comfortable with other people sleeping in your bed, but you can't then say you're crossing my boundaries. It's you don't feel comfortable with other people sleeping in your bed, but the key word is your, not my bed. Because yeah, sometimes people can weaponize therapy language and use it for their benefit, right? And yeah. I used to be a therapist, and I do understand people misusing what you're saying, and you got to correct it. Luckily, luckily, I'm not privy to how most of my clients use the language unless they repeat it back to me, and then I correct it right then and there. But and with life coaching, it's just easier to just flat out say, "Hey, don't do this. This is not a good idea. Just don't do it." Versus asking them, "Do you think this is a good idea?" But anyways, that's for another day, another conversation. But A boundary is based off of what somebody does to you. Okay? It's not what they do to themselves. That's not how that works. Okay? Trying to control her. And if he feels uncomfortable, like I completely understand if he feels uncomfortable with other people sleeping in the bed with her in her bedroom and they're in a relationship, right? He can say that, but the word that he used was boundary, and I don't know. I really don't think that's how that works, guys. I don't. And then if mm, yeah, it's not really a it's not a bound. I don't think that's. I don't know what y'all think. What do you guys think? I feel like there's a difference between a preference and a boundary. He prefers. Well, I prefer beards. Right? But him cutting his beard, that's his body. Like he could do whatever he wants to do with his body. Okay? Doesn't matter. Like, for instance, there's people who don't like what is it? Women that wear makeup, and I wear makeup, right? And they can say, "Oh, I prefer you without makeup," but they can't say, "You wearing makeup, I don't like makeup. You crossing my boundaries." No, 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 no. Don't work like that, okay? It's I prefer you to not wear makeup, right? That's how it works, okay? That's yeah. A boundary is not me managing you. It's me deciding what I will do and will not keep participating in. Right? I think I hope. What do you guys think? Do you think people confuse boundaries the most with control, punishment, distance, or rejection? Right? What do you guys think? Okay, let's go to the third one. Third example. Do I have it up? All right, the next one. Going no contact with parents again. All right, shifting gears. I have to go no contact with my parents again. The previous time we didn't talk for over a year. When we did talk again, I set clear and strong boundaries. Since we started talking again, they've completely pushed through my boundaries over time to the point where I'm now having PTSD triggers more and more often. It's becoming debilitating. It scares me to go no contact because I'm utterly alone when I do it. But I know it's important for my mental health. Anyone else going through it and feel grief and isolation? Yep, that's a difficult one. Definitely a difficult one. So this one is not about romantic relationships. This is based off of blood, right? Or the family that you came through, your parents. And remember when I said earlier that the first lesson we get in boundaries is when we start interacting with people at a very, very early age, and our parents tell us what to do, right? with our body, right? Saying hello, that's manners. Saying goodbye, manners. Saying please, manners. Thank you, manners. Uh, you go over someone's house, you ask for what you need. You don't just go walking through their house, right? Manners, right? And that's crossing their boundary. You need to ask, may I use the bathroom, or may I have some water? If they haven't offered or showed you the lay of the land. And there's just certain things that when it comes to manners and interactions with people that you do and you don't do, right, to be polite. But the learning that you have to hug someone, you have to shake their hand, you have to let someone kiss you, you have to sit on their lap, right? When you're a kid, that part is when we first learn that somebody else is in control of our autonomy. We don't have agency, even if we don't want to. And some parents, they're learning, but it's few and far between, because that has been the standard forever, and it's still the standard for a lot of people, is that when your family members come around, you hug and you kiss and do all those things in order to be polite, in order to make the people feel welcome. Okay, even though you have no idea what is going on and you may feel uncomfortable as a child. Okay, so with that being said, there are certain things that when it comes to parenting, okay, parents will look at you like, you my child, ain't no boundaries. Okay, period. You came from me. I didn't bring you here. You wouldn't be here. What? You don't have no boundaries. Even when you're an adult, no, you don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. I'm the mama. I'm the dad, right? And it seems like this person, like they said, they set clear, strong boundaries before. And they just, sometimes the person will, this might have been a situation where there might have been a holiday and they pretended to be okay with the boundaries. And as soon as they, got that person over there back in the space of the family again, crossed again, right? And if you don't, this person is right to, I feel like this person is right to go ahead and set the boundaries again for their own mental health. Because if you, it, and it's very, very difficult with your parents, because that's that authority figure, right? That's that's who you've been brought up to listen to everything that they tell you to do, okay? Or else there'll be consequences. That's the training. But when it comes to the triggers, okay, and the PTSD that this person is working very, very hard to manage, and that parent crosses that boundary, they're taking it personal as, okay, I am the parent. And I think sometimes people think that you setting that boundary means that you don't think that they love you, right? Like, his parents don't think that he knows that they love him when he says, don't do this, right? And in actuality, it hurts even more. It hurts that child even more, okay? When somebody that is supposed to love them crosses those boundaries and hurts them versus a stranger. Stranger doesn't owe you anything, right? But there's a reason, okay? A stranger could say, I wouldn't put that shirt with those pants, right? But if your mom or your dad says, I wouldn't put that shirt with your pants, that's going to affect you way more than that stranger. Okay, so it has a different type of psychological effect on you mentally. And oftentimes when we doubt ourselves, when we try to push down our feelings to make other people feel comfortable, when we're alone, those triggers come and we hear those voices, the people that we love, our parents' voices telling us that what we have to say or how we feel doesn't matter in our head, then we do our own. Okay, so uh yeah, I think yeah, that's also why people struggle the most with their family with boundaries than they do dating. Okay, because these are people that are tied to you for life. These are people you came from. These people are a part of you. Right? There's a reason why if you say, oh, I dislike or this makes me upset about my dad, and if somebody else that's not a child or whoever or part of your family says that, you might, wait a minute, I can say that. But I don't know how I feel about you saying it. Feel a little, because I feel like you're talking about me because this person, I've identified this person as my family, so they're a part of me, right? So I'm still on the defense a little bit, even though we might be saying the same thing. It's because of that connection that you have with that family member. So it's very, very difficult. And your family is it's your first example of love. So what you do there, the boundaries you set there, it will determine your relationships. It will determine your friendships. It's going to determine your romantic relationships. It's going to determine your work relationships, right? The boundaries that you're able to set with your family. Okay. And some people, they are blessed enough to have, oh, I feel like that's like a 2% that are blessed enough to have family, a full family that understands what boundaries are, but it's rare, okay? It's very, 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 very rare, all right, that somebody, yeah, it's very, very rare that families respect boundaries, okay? Especially if you got siblings. Very, very, very rare. But yeah, sorry if you see me looking over here, looking at my notes to make sure that I am able to explain this in the best way possible, explain boundaries to people. Okay, even though this is a live reaction, I don't read it. I just, grab them and then I read it. That's my plan, to read them on the live with you guys. I'll get my authentic response. But there's still notes on the side about what each topic is about. But this one, when it comes to specific boundaries. But yeah, I feel like this is not this person being cruel. This is this person, like, they don't clearly understand. They don't understand that doing A and B equals C for me. And this is the only way they're going to get to understand, right? And some people are not the let me just go no contact. Some people are let me hurt you. Like you hurt me and cut you back, right? Cuss you out. Okay? There's those people. Now this person is handling, I feel like this person is handling it the healthy way because they've showed time and time again, and I'm sure they've advocated for themselves in the process of their parents crossing their boundary, that, hey, you're crossing a boundary and you're triggering me. Please stop. Right? And this happens usually no contact. It's chance after chance after chance after chance after chance because they already said they feel totally alone. It is isolating. Okay? It is isolating. When you have to do that, especially with the people that, brought you into this world. It's very, very painful. It's not easy, but this is a sign of a person that's trying to do better, is trying to run farther. And everybody should want that. Every parent should want that for their kids, is to be a better person, be better than me, right? I couldn't stand up for myself. And you saw how my parents were with me. You know, I'm proud of you for being able to stand up for yourself. Because you know what happens to me, my belief, I feel like for the next generation, it's worse. The cycle continues, the curse continues. If they don't learn it with that generation and the next generation makes the same mistakes, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And this person has developed PTSD. So this has probably been happening forever in their bloodline on both sides. And the PTSD from it, debilitating for this person, right? This person wants to be here in this world and be happy. And I applaud that. Okay. So, and then, you know what? Know what else I noticed? This person said, anyone else going through it and feel grief and isolation? They asked, do you feel the same way? Do you go through grief and isolation? They didn't say, am I wrong or am I overreacting? Good job. Right? All they're doing is acknowledging that, hey, it's not easy to do. And this is the other side sometimes when you set a boundary. Specifically with people that you love and care about, and specifically with family. Good job for this person. Good job. Okay. I love that. So yeah, people you teach people how they treat you. Okay? And that's everyone. Your family has to relearn you. Sometimes even your friends that you have for a long time have to relearn who you are, and that could be an uncomfortable process. Some people, you may have attracted people who have flourished in you not having any boundaries, right? And being able to use you up in the way or put you in the box that they feel like you're supposed to be in and stay in because it makes them comfortable. All right. And I feel like the true people that belong in your space are the ones that grow with you. Okay. That you have those conversations about, okay, this is why I don't do this anymore. Right. And if they respect that, absolutely keep them around. If they don't, if they're taking it personal, yeah, it's gonna reveal a truth about them, especially if there's no explanation. I think explanation, yeah, for boundaries is good in relationships because, like I said, the person might be used to, and usually the friend that's telling you to stand up for yourself, that's usually the first person you like stand up with yourself with. So that one might take, or your family member. Like how my mom used to say, you let this person call you this name at school, but if your brother call you this, you ready to fight. Okay? No, because this is my house. All right? And I need to be comfortable in my house. So yeah, I'm going to fight. And it hurt more because this person's part of my family. Yes, it triggers me more than some, crazy kid that's getting bullied at home and is taking their frustrating out on me in school. Right? That was my reasoning. That was my logic. And I feel like it still stands today. And as you become older and you get stronger in your boundaries, then it is the new people that meet you. They already know, so they already respect it. Right? And some people make teas and things of that nature. And if they tease, this depends on your personality, but you just make sure they stand up. An example of that is I don't drink. So My friends know that. So if we'll be together, they're like, joke, oh, we're going to give you a shot. And I'll say like, oh, I'm going to start drinking next year. Don't worry. Right. I've been saying that since I was in undergrad. Okay. Yeah. I've been saying that for a very long time, but I still don't drink. I don't drink. But if we go places where someone doesn't know me and they're meeting me for the first time, right? I do those same friends, that person will try to get me to drink, and those same friends will be like, she doesn't drink. Okay? See, those the ones that respect your boundary. Okay? All right? That's not if they tease me. That's why I don't take, them teasing personal or whatnot. It just, that part. You got to see that part. Okay? But you feeling guilty, people shaming you, doesn't mean that your boundary is wrong. And then again, like the other story we talked about with the boyfriend saying that you can't sleep in my bed. I mean, you can't sleep in your own bed with your friends that you've been sleeping in the same. That's a preference, okay? Not a boundary. Someone cannot, what you do with your own body, someone can't have a boundary over that. They can have a preference, all right? And they can feel how they feel, but yeah, that's not a boundary for them, okay? If it has something to do with just your body, right? That's how that works. So comment down below, what do you all think about boundaries? Has anyone ever set a boundary with you that you just did not understand? Do you feel like it was a real boundary or it wasn't? Have you set a boundary before with someone that you truly care about? What are your boundaries? How do you get to that point to finally set and say, hey, I'm not going to deal with this? Right? Okay. I think I gave them plenty of examples of this. And I've had clients that have gone through stuff like this before. I truly have. And, yeah, therapists, we say set your boundaries. But I don't know if that therapist told him the bed is only, you know what, therapists are human too. And they, the bed is only for sex and sleep. Oh, dang. People be talking bad on therapists' names, right? Okay, now if it was a life coach that said that, I probably would believe it. But I don't know. I don't know about that. That's not a thing. Okay, let's not confuse. Let's not confuse what it actually is to set a boundary and to respect one. So yeah, comment below. Tell me what part you struggle with, and if this helped, subscribe. Okay, if you want to see more videos like this, I'm gonna try to go all 5 days. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm gonna push myself to show up and take up space, and you do the same. Let's do this together. Okay. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I will see you. Oh, when I see you tomorrow. Right?